Shalom to Jonny Daniels, chairman and founder of From the Depths.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So where are you speaking to us from?
I'm coming to you from one of the last remaining walls of the Warsaw Ghetto. 77 years ago started the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, the most famous of the uprisings from the time of the Shoah. And this is one of the external walls of the Warsaw Ghetto that remained intact. And so I'm coming to you live from this very site, from one of the external walls of the Warsaw Ghetto.
And in regular days, this area behind you would be full of people, as we're in this week of the Holocaust Memorial Day and everything?
On a regular time, without coronavirus, this site would have been full, as would all the other sites connected to the Warsaw Ghetto, connected to the Second World War, all the German Nazi concentration camps that were built here in occupied Poland during the war. Tens of thousands of people would have been here on March of the Living and on other programs to remember. Sadly, this year, no one is able to come. And it falls on a small group of us who came to Poland, who are here for all different reasons to make sure that this memory is not forgotten and continues, even amongst this difficult time. I personally was in Israel with my children when the coronavirus started, and I had to make the decision of whether I stayed in Israel with my kids for Pesach or I was to come back to Poland to make sure this work continued. And with a heavy heart, I came back, but I'm grateful that I did so, because the importance of this really continues and pushes on and enables all of us to join together in remembering at these important sites as well.
Now, Jonny, let's take a look at a video you sent earlier this week. So tell us what we're seeing here and about your activity really these days.
So my foundation, as well as dealing with all the issues connected to Holocaust Memory and Memorial, which are crucial and remarkably important, we also took it on ourselves as millennials, as young people involved in Holocaust Memory and Memorial, to do what we can to assist and give help to the righteous amongst the nations. They're a very small group of people. We're dealing with roughly 400 righteous amongst the nations that are still alive around the world, with the largest group in Poland. And as a foundation, generally, we help them however we can. We have a free taxi service here in Warsaw that gives rides, free rides to the righteous wherever they need and whenever they need, and help them in other countries as well. Actually, coming up in a few weeks' time with the start of Ramadan, we're going to be sending packages to Muslim righteous amongst the nations in Albania. It's something that not a lot of people know, but Albania was the only country that had more Jews after than before the Second World War that was under occupation. With Muslim righteous, those who saved, we're going to be sending packages to them. But what we've been doing here in Poland is we've changed our vehicles from taxis to delivery vehicles, where we're basically going from righteous to righteous every single day with food, with medicine if they need, with whatever they need to look after them, to make sure that they don't have to leave their homes and they can stay safe. We are trying our hardest to protect those who protected us just 75 years ago. And I drove over 1,000 kilometers to a small town by the border of Germany. And at this border, what we did is we visited two of the righteous amongst the nations that lived there. One of the righteous who we visited, this wonderful lady who saved at least 3 Jews, and she was honored for us by Yad Vashem, many others Jewish partisans who they gave food to, and so on and so forth. We went and visited her with a food parcel, with everything that her and her family may need during this time. And a very good friend of mine, Grzegorz, a famous Polish violinist, decided to come with me to play, to give a little bit of love to these people at their doorsteps when we give the packages. However, as we came to her home, we were told by the family that she's not well, and we were with our masks and gloves and went inside her home. And Grzegorz played for her by her bedside. And very, very sadly, just a few hours ago, we received the information that she passed away, which was truly heartbreaking. But on the other hand, really gives me a full understanding and a belief in terms of what we're doing right now, and the knowledge that really there is no time when it comes to this opportunity to help others and to give back and to give the hakarat tov, the thanksgiving that we should have as Jews. Now is the time, more than any, to stand up, to be counted, to show that we're there. We're giving love and credit to these people that deserve it the most.
And also the Holocaust survivors themselves are leaving us from this world, and the responsibility of telling the story, it seems to have moved to us.
Absolutely. I think that when I started my foundation, one of the first people I sat with was Professor Elie Wiesel, Zichrono Livracha, blessed memory. And I sat with Professor Wiesel, and I said, how can I talk about such a thing? Who am I? I'm a young man. I'm clearly not a Holocaust survivor. How dare I discuss or talk about such a subject? And Professor Wiesel turned to me and he said, Jonny, you have to. He said, you are my witness. Your generation are the witnesses of the witnesses. And if you don't stand to be counted, nobody will. And I think that this is what we're seeing today. And this is what's so incredibly important. When I look around at all the wonderful big organizations dealing with Holocaust Memory and Memorial, it's run by survivors or by their children. But the millennials, our generation, are simply not doing enough to make sure that this isn't forgotten. My two wonderful, beautiful daughters have had a slight opportunity to meet with survivors and to speak with them just a little bit. But the depth of their stories, they're too young to understand. And sadly, by the time that my children, and most definitely their children, come to an age in which they're able to speak to survivors and understand them, there won't be any left. And this really falls on us to stand as the witnesses and to make sure that this history is not forgotten. It's told and it remains to be told. This is why sites such as these, as an external wall of a Warsaw ghetto, just 77 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to stand at this site. I would have been trapped on the other side. As a proud Jew, I'd be lucky to be alive. And here I am all these years later, able to stand proud as a proud Jew and as a proud Israeli, to stand free and to sound strong. And I think that this is the importance of remembering and not forgetting.
Jonny Daniels, chairman and founder of From the Depths, thank you very much for joining us and good luck.
Thank you.